books every night for the next day as to which witnesses would be on the stand, or once the defense case began, who we would be cross-examining. I thought our relationship with the defense was fairly good. I mean, there was a certain moments of contentiousness, as you can imagine, but we were very good about keeping them informed as to who we were going to be calling and when, and they were very good about keeping us informed as to who they were going to be calling and when as well. And that's how we were able to make it through the trial, ultimately. I think we're going to have more of a discussion about jury selection a little bit more, so I think we'll probably be going more into the aspects of the trial at a later time. But just in terms of the issue of the publicity, we did get a request in to the court for a gag order. That request was granted for the gag order. Yes, it was true that Tom Stedden held a press conference. I watched that press conference with many other people at the time I was around the world. I watched it from the King David Hotel in Jerusalem, where I happened to be. Judge Melville points out Mark Garagos was on Larry King many times a week, and continuously talking about the family of grifters that were plaguing his client for an obvious shakedown, and the revenge factor by Tom Stedden, given the fact that he was not able to prosecute Michael Jackson in 1993. Now, let me comment on two things at the moment as I conclude, because I told you I was going to talk to you a little bit about Gavin today. This was a child who grew up in one room. The first 10 years of his life were spent in one room with five other family members. He was the victim of a horribly abusive father and a witness to horribly abusive domestic violence. He was a victim of cancer that almost killed him. Before he was 12 years old, he endured all of that, and then watching his father being taken away. He was a rather extraordinary kid. Then met Michael Jackson, we believe molested by Michael Jackson, and subjected to a horrible ordeal of a trial. At age 15, he stood on the witness stand, took an oath, and sat down and answered questions for hours. Among the questions, of course, were detailed questions of sexual activity by an international superstar. We lost the case. He was found not guilty, and we had to explain that to Gavin and what that meant, and what that would likely mean to his life from this point on, and how he would go about it. They moved to another location. He used a different name. He finished high school. He was outed while he was in high school. One of Michael Jackson's fans discovered where he was and fixed the computer in such a way that all of the MySpace for students at that school would immediately go directly to his new website, this person, which identified Gavin by his photograph as the person involved in the most uncomplimentary ways possible. Where is he today? He's 20 years old. He's a third-year student at a very prominent university on the East Coast. I'm not going to mention the name of the school, but anybody who would like to know, come see me, I'll tell you. He's an honor student. He has a 3.5 grade point average and a double major in philosophy and history. He's planning on going to law school. Some of you will agree with that, some of you won't. His major is philosophy and history. He's a deeply religious young man in a relationship with a young woman that has been a relationship for about 2 years, the daughter of a minister. He attends church on a regular basis. He doesn't drink. He doesn't use drugs. He's very intellectually suited. He's delightful in his presentation. I spent time with him only a month ago. And he's really doing remarkably well. He has never asked for or taken a penny from anybody about any of the activity of this case. Never. They're standing offers from the press for his story for enough money that it would cover his tuition, which is considerable. Never mind, he's on a 50% scholarship. But he has never taken a penny from anybody and has no intention of doing so. He's accruing debt like college kids do today, but he's doing just fine.
Astounded, and I apologize, Tom, that you've been sitting here for an hour and a half, 2 hours now, and haven't had a chance to say a word. Now, that's a terrible thing to impose upon an effective lawyer. But we do appreciate your coming, and the podium is yours.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the Los Angeles County Bar Association for inviting me, and I think this is a great panel. Needless to say, I have a very different perspective on what you just heard. I don't believe for 1 second Michael Jackson molested any of these people. Neither did 12 jurors in Santa Maria, California. They acquitted him of 10 indicted felonies, and 4 lesser-included misdemeanors. 14 in all. They couldn't get him on even a misdemeanor. He was innocent. Now, as far as the media is concerned, I know I don't have a lot of time, but I will tell you a few things about my approach to the media in this case. I was brought in eventually by Randy Jackson, who I'd known for years, and Randy called and wanted me to meet he and his brother. And he said to me, and he's a very smart guy, he said to me, we don't like what our lawyers are doing with the media. And we don't trust what's going on. In fact, he told me that during the first court appearance he was at, some lawyers ran out of the building and shoved him out of the way to get in front of a camera, which he didn't appreciate or like, and nor did he think it was in his brother's interest to have this kind of behavior. And one of the things he told me he liked about me and my partner, Susan Yu, was that he didn't think we were camera mad. He didn't think we were the kind of people that were going to basically put our own interests for fame or fortune in front of his brother's. And the first thing I learned as I met he and his brother was this: be very careful of the media. Be very careful of their desire to seduce. Be very careful of their desire to profit off the demise of the defendant. Be real careful. It became clear to me that we were never going to win a battle with the media. Now, I understand there's been some discussion that Mark Aragos was on TV, etc., but let me tell you something. The media worldwide were out to get Michael Jackson. The money was in a conviction, okay? I was told after Barry Gordy, who founded Motown, told me after the acquittals that you cost the worldwide media billions